November 19, 2023. Houthi terrorists blocked the Red Sea for commercial ships. The United States and their allies launched an operation to protect the trading, but still most of the ships prefer not to use the Suez Channel. The Houthi movement didn't suffer any strategic defeat, and their Iranian suppliers got away with it. But let us look into another timeline. March 1951, Iran nationalizes British oil property, and about a year after, in June 1952, British Royal Navy intercepts an Italian tanker, establishing a blockade against Iran. In a matter of 13 months, Iran lost its key source of income, eventually leading to a coup and beginning of a pro-Western dictatorship that redistributed the property again. Back into the present. The United States and the UK possess an invincible fleet due to the superior air force, being able to prevent any ship going from Arabian Sea, but they just won't do this, and most of the people would not support this action. However, Britain and the USA are still separated from Iran by ocean, and Iran still doesn't have any nuclear capabilities. The reason is the natural law, which I will now explain. Historically speaking, European countries once were little and angry tribes, like Anglo-Saxons, Goths, Slavs, and Picts. They had strong bonds within a tribe and a desire to live better and rule lands, fighting one another and making alliances against each other. At some point, their growth became so fast that they managed to conquer the rest of the world, and the level of rivalry achieved its apogee with the world wars. Post-war period was characterized by technological and scientific breakthrough. People could live a decent life being unqualified workers, because the prices were significantly lower back then. Both the United States and the Soviet Union, countries of European descent, asserted their dominance over the world, and even in the USSR people experienced better life. Lack of problems allowed people to reproduce and enjoy their consumption. Well-fed people don't want to die in Vietnam or Afghanistan. After the end of the Cold War, America becomes the only hegemon in the world. Inflation and regulations in Europe and North America cause a stagnation. Less people take risks and dedicate their life to a cause. On the other hand, we see countries whose leaders are ready to send their people to death. Firstly, it was terrorists like Al-Qaeda, but then large states that have almost reached the technological level of the West. Step by step, they prepare for war. To take what the current hegemon doesn't want to take, they see weakness in him. That's natural law, the logical outcome. Every empire dies and every civilization ends. Even allies of the hegemon start to ignore his presence and genocide their enemies as they see it a reasonable war goal. Paradoxical humanism in its finest phase leads to inability to force anyone to be humane, as forcing is inhumane and can result in deaths. But does it mean that it's over, since we can't break the natural law? The answer lies in the Norse mythology. Sacred texts usually reflect the way of life and the values of the folk, and the Norse or even earlier legends pretty much formed our mentality. Almost any Indo-European religion states that there is some cosmic order, an eternal repetition. Since if there weren't, then why the axe with which you chop a tree would not start dancing and transforming into a bee? There's some law in the universe that allows you to chop over and over again. You can research this law and categorize everything that has ever existed, and that is what Odin doesn't like at all. The prophecy says that he will die in Ragnarok, but still he gathers his army to win, as he believes that if you put in enough effort you will eventually achieve victory, even against the cosmic order, and even if you won't, it's still worth trying. This is the essence of our ancestors. This mindset built the greatest economy, the greatest military, the largest empire, and the brightest scientists. It makes leaders to find a way to win against all odds. It makes crewmen striving to achieve the goal until they are dead. It will lead us through the dark times.